I think TCU knows, and I said this before, they understand the assignment. They understand what they're supposed to do. They know they have to win. They know that they have to win by a lot. This can't be close because they will be jumped. And
here's my point.
Go ahead.
Right. So at what point do we not consider TCU as a Big West or a WAC team? They've been jumped before. I guarantee you right now, if Texas or Oklahoma was 10-0, we wouldn't have this conversation.
Bingo. That's my point.
So at what point is that going to stop?
I don't know. I don't know when it stops.
That's my question.
It stopped for me a long time ago.
Right. But you understand
what I'm saying? But it stopped for you a long time ago as well. But
exactly. But Gary Patterson, they got hopped a couple times, right?
Yes, they got in 2014 getting leaped over by Ohio State. Like this isn't an us problem. We're not the problem.
No, I'm just bringing it up. I'm sorry.
It's everybody else is the problem, not us.
Here's my thought, and this is how I felt most of really until they played Texas and they showed me that they could play defense. You start the year off with a new head coach that comes from you, and don't get me wrong, Sonny Dykes did fantastic at SMU, but it's still not. It's not a super big name coach, right? And that may or may not be fair. First year guy, what's he going to do? This is traditionally a defensive school. He's an offensive coach.
Sure.
There's one storyline that goes against him. Now they start winning. Well, remember, their quarterback played phenomenal for the most of the year. He has had a couple games where he wasn't on top of his game, but he was not the starter week one either. It was Chandler Morris. Yep. And so you're saying first-year head coach that doesn't have experience winning in a Power 5 conference like this in some sort of time, a quarterback that wasn't even able to win the job coming into the first week, and now you're navigating a conference that a lot of people are saying is down this year because your big logos, Texas and OU, aren't playing as well as they could. And so that's been the narrative that people are writing. Oh, yeah, they're winning, but conference is down. 5, 6, and 7 would beat them if they weren't unblemished, so on and so forth. They have earned my respect, especially in that Texas game defensive side, and they should, by every stretch of the imagination, get all the credit in the world for what they've done. I believe if they win this football game, even if it's by 1 point, they're in. I mean, they're undefeated. They're in, and I look forward to them playing really well against whoever they play.
And Felder, I'll say this too. All right. So you give them credit for that. They detracted. Right. What's the real difference between the Big 12 and the ACC right now?
Oh, well, we didn't even talk about the ACC championship game. So I think that's the difference.
I know.
But here's what I'm going to say. Here's the thing, because we talk about if it was Oklahoma or if it was Texas.
Right.
If ifs and buts were I'm gonna go. My mom's gonna love this. She'll never see it because she doesn't do it. She doesn't know what I do. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, the world would be a sweeter place.
Right.
And if TCU was Oklahoma or TCU was Texas, of course, we wouldn't even be having this discussion at all. We wouldn't be having this discussion. But the reality of it is TCU they've already gone through this, right? In 2014, they've already lived this. Even in 2014, going back to 2008? Is that 2008 or 2006? Where they were undefeated. Boise State was undefeated. Cincinnati was undefeated. And they also weren't invited to the party. There was a whole year where all those teams were undefeated and they weren't invited to the party either. And so, what did TCU had to play Boise State in the Holiday Bowl?
Yep.
And so they're terrified of what's going to happen. So that's all.
I'll take it a step further. In 2000, where is that? In 2007, Purdue, K-State had a great football team.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the country. You know this.
Yeah.
A&M, right in the Big 12 championship game.
And didn't matter.
I'm at Purdue. We ended up playing them in the Alamo Bowl.
Yep. Didn't matter.
Did not matter.
You're not brand name, boy.
So, I mean, I see that right now.
They know.
And TCU is a really good football team. And
they are very good. And let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you something. 2 6'5" wide receivers. What are you supposed to do with that?
Throw it to him. hey, and Trevor will get mad like that. Those aren't all back shoulders either.
No,
because they got a chance. Just give them a chance.
That's all I'm saying. Like when I look at TCU, I'm like, who's going to cover these dudes?
Yeah.
I like Kelly Ringo. Keely Ringo. I like him. He's good. But guess what? Really guess what? He ain't got nothing on Quentin Johnston.
No, they got players.
Because the worst part about playing defense, and Coach Sumlin, I'm sure you agree. The worst part about playing defense is you only have to mess up one time.
Right?
You mess up once. That's a touchdown. Especially if you're a safety or a corner. You mess up one time. Touchdown.
You don't want to be the corner or the special teams coach. The only time people look for you is when it gets screwed up, right?